Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our last MLC Today Show broadcast of the 2010-2011 school year. I'm your lead news anchor, Ricky Whitmore, and I will be covering breaking news and our inspirational humanitarian of the world for this evening. Sitting next to me is my co-anchor, Julianne Roberts on MLC News. Later on in the show, we will hear the weekend forecast from our weatherman, Thunderous Tom, Sports with Madison, who will also be interviewing our guest for the evening, David Shaw. Then we will hear the latest movie news from our movie critic, Spencer. Thanks to our great backup crew, Dominic, Madison, and Tom on cameras, and our driver, Uncle Rich. So sit back, relax, grab a glass of lemonade, and enjoy the show. This evening in breaking news, New York, on a mission to bury the memory of Osama bin Laden by honoring those who died in the fiery September 11, 2001 attacks, President Barack Obama today visited firefighters and police who lost colleagues at New York's Ground Zero and then laid a wreath at the site. When we say we will never forget, we mean what we say, he said in a brief comments to the firefighters and others at the station he visited in New York's Theater District. The station lost 15 men during the attacks. In his brief remarks, the president never mentioned bin Laden's name. And for our inspirational humanitarian of the world this evening, I'm gonna read to you about Mother Teresa. It is not how much we do, but how much love we put in the doing. It is not how much we give, but how much love we put in the giving. Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa taught geography at St. Mary's School in Calcutta, India from 1929 to 1948 when she was riding a train to Darjeeling, though she heard God's call. Soon she wanted to help the sick, the poor, and the dying. She took her final vows and became a Roman Catholic nun in 1937. She started to work in the Missionaries of Charity. Her first day on the job, Mother Teresa picked up a dying woman who was half eaten by ants. Mother Teresa took the woman to Dharamshala. She tried to clean the woman, but her skin came off and the woman died. In 1952, Mother Teresa started the Kaлагhat Home for the Dying. She and other nuns searched for people who were sick or dying on the streets in Calcutta, India. They helped and cared for them at the home. Once Mother Teresa said, "I see God in every human being." She became known as the Saint of the Gutters. Also, in the later 1950s, she began a leper colony called the Town of Peace. Later, every one of her centers were placed under an organization called the Missionaries of Charity. The centers helped to treat blind people, lepers, the dying, the disabled, and the old. Mother Teresa also started orphanages and schools for the poor. By 1990, there were centers in 25 countries. That's all for breaking news and inspirational humanitarians. And on to Julianne with MLC News.
Welcome back. I want to thank you for that has been watching the MLC News. For MLC News, and for the last of the school year, we just had our gala. It was a big success. It was lots of fun as well. We raised lots of money for the returning students and for the incoming students as well. For the rest of the school year, we are basically packing and cleaning out our apartments. Then we will be in between times of cleaning our apartments and packing, we'll be celebrating the seniors that are graduating this year. I will see you all again next year. Bye for now, over to the commercial, then back with sports and weather.
Hello and welcome back. Um, whether in the United States, on April 27th and 28th, there was a big adrenal outbreak since April 1974 with 378 adrenals in the southeast in Alabama. And the weekend forecast, Friday, May 6th, partly sunny, the high of 68 and low of 49. Saturday, showers and thunderstorms before 1 p.m., then a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. The chance of rain is 60%, and a high of 70 and a low of 58. Sunday, May 8th, which is Mother's Day, partly sunny skies early with a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. High of 70 and low of 44. Chance of rain is 30%. That's all for weather. Now in the sports with Maddie.
Aloha, one more time for surfing. But this time it's about Bethany Hamilton and her attack. Bethany Hamilton became an international sensation when she lost her arm and nearly lost her life in a voracious shark attack while surfing 8 years ago. Off the coast of Hawaii, despite the attack, Hawaiian surfer who was 19 years old has proven she could still compete with the best of them, jumping right back in the water 1 month later. To me, it's like never getting in a car because you're afraid of a collision. Not surfing doesn't work for me, she says. On the professional surfing circuit, the Kauai native has become known for her courage, positive attitude, and fierce competitive spirit. One arm might handicap me a little in competition, but I just work what changes I know I have to make, and I'm pretty used to it now. She told ABC News, "It mainly depends on the wave conditions. I only get half the waves everyone else rides, so mine have to be good." Hamilton first told her story to 2020 after October 2003 attack. Many doubted if Hamilton, then 13 years old, would ever be able to surf competitively again. But she refused to let her story end in tragedy. "I get tons of letters. People saw that I didn't give up on my dreams," she told 2020 in November 2003 interview. "I kept surfing. It helped me out a lot, and that just shows that good can come out of bad stuff like this."
Hello, it's again for Movie Time with Spencer. Last year, I reviewed the Hong Kong action classic Hard Boiled, directed by John Woo, and I hope you all went out and saw it. Well, anyhow, I'm going to actually talk about John Woo's mentor, actually, Chang Cheh. He directed a slew of martial arts films that are considered some of the best, and I'm going to talk about pretty much one of his first movies, actually. It's called The One-Armed Swordsman. It's about the son of, the one-armed swordsman is the son of a servant to a great swordsman, and when his father saved the master, but he died tragically. So the master took the son under his wing and has trained him to be a great swordsman. Well, everything's going pretty darn good for Fang Gang, the one-armed swordsman, before he lost his arm. And well, anyhow, but one day he does not accept a fight to his master's daughter because he wants to honor her as a woman, and she acts rather uncalled for because she gets mad and cuts off his arm. Well, running away disgraced, he ends up coming across a farm girl. She ends up taking him in. He recuperates. They begin to fall in love. It's usually kind of a timeless story, but he ends up still wanting to continue being the best swordsman. He ends up developing his own one-arm technique, so in which he's able to use his left arm and actually, in many ways, become actually better than and more able than a swordsman with both arms. But he quickly hears that all of his master students are starting to get exterminated around the countryside, and he ends up having to come to the rescue and redeem himself. And it's quite a show at the end. There's a lot of sword fights, spear fights. There's a guy with a whip that it puts Indiana Jones to shame. Yeah, this is one heck of a movie, and yeah, I really recommend it. It's followed by a sequel, which I hear was pretty good, and also, this has nothing to do with, I haven't seen this movie yet, but it comes out tomorrow on the 6th for a limited theatrical release. If you like the film Grindhouse, then you will apparently love this film. It's called Hobo with a Shotgun. It's about a crazy hobo that upon coming into a crime-ridden city, he goes on basically a killing spree against all the criminals. And I hear it's totally insane and totally worth seeing it. So look at Fandango and try to find theaters that are playing it. I hear it's just insane beyond belief. So, well, that's the last movie time for the year. It's hard to believe, and well, you take care.
Hi, welcome to the lovely interview with David. He's our new, apparently, our new emergency contact person. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. So David, how did you find about MLC?
I had heard about it a little bit while living at the Colony Apartments, but mainly it was the manager, Troy, called me up and said that they were looking for somebody, and I said, wow, sounds like a great opportunity.
Yeah. Well, you found the coolest job. What is your favorite activity to do in your spare time?
Probably building models, studying Star Trek.
Of course.
And playing with computers.
Sweet. I hear that you have a job in website design. What is it like?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I do a combination of design, but I also work with a number of graphic designers and let them design the website, and then I just do the background coding. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of fun. I get to sort of sit back and watch people be creative.
Nice. If you could play for any sports team, who would you want to play for?
San Diego Chargers.
Nice. I heard that you and the other PAs pulled a great April Fool's Day joke on the students of MLC. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it was supposed to be rather innocent. We went out and got a bag of Oreo cookies and scraped off the filling and used toothpaste instead.
And did people fall for it?
Yeah, well, we left a handful of them regular, and then we started munching on those, and the people came in, started asking if they could have one, and sure, handed them. Then you'd start seeing this look.
What 3 presidents would you consider to be the greatest leaders for our country, and why?
Well, that's a good question. An odd choice would be Richard Nixon, just because he was one of the most intelligent presidents we ever had. Had he actually been president earlier, he would have made a much better president. He lost just barely to Kennedy back in 1960. And had he won back then, he probably would have been a little bit more balanced. Mm-hmm. But right after losing that, and then he lost, he ran for governor of California, lost that, he became very embittered, which changed the tone of how he dealt with things. But he was one of the more prepared presidents ever.